Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and this is going to be one of those Patreon feed, like unlisted videos that anybody can watch, but you don't have to. It doesn't show up in the main feed, so it doesn't crowd it and hurt the metrics and such. But this video is we're just going to grind a bit with young CGB. That's all there is to say really about that. Young CGB needs some gems. He's only got 400 of these here gems, needs a lot more to draft. So we got to get some grind on. Let's see, creatures, red and white. You know they want to drive me into that Boros. And these videos are good for me. Lay off the editing a bit, lay off all the new fancy sponsorship stuff, and instead get back to the roots of playing a few games, hanging out, talking about what we're doing. Green or white? I don't think I've done a green or white thing in a long time. I'm willing to give it another try. I feel like I've picked up plenty of green and white cards. I also feel like the last time we did it went well. Nothing too wrong with playing tokens. Tokens are fun. We've got the Dubs history, so we've got something going for tokens already. I believe I played Make a Stand, which maybe we still keep, maybe we don't. I'll give that a minute, figure that out. Ajani, we'll see. Conclave Tribunal's a nice one to have available. Shalai, of course. The token deck with the one Settle the Wreckage. Woo! We might also, I wonder how far we are off of the version I like with the Explorer creatures. Venerated Loxodon's usually very well in tokens. Llanowar Elves is usually not very good because it's hard to get the turn 1 green, turn 2 double white kind of stuff for History of Benalia, and it just doesn't quite seem to go with what the deck wants to do. But there's Saproling Migration, which certainly does, and Thorn Lieutenant, which is just a sticky threat. Usually the opponent wants to kill your 2-drop right away, and Thorn Lieutenant's a little bit harder to deal with. Sometimes having a District Guide just feels like a good bridge in the middle of the game where you're not sure what to do with your mana. This is a Convoke card, which can sometimes be a useful card. Maybe one of those hanging around isn't too bad. Then we have cards like Spore Swarm and Tendershoot Dryad. Everybody likes to YOLO the Carnage Tyrant because control decks are a pain. I get where they're coming from, but I like to be on task, so to speak. Let's see what we have up on the top end with our big green and white cards, because that might also direct us in what else we want to do with build. 3 Emmaras is nice. Somehow opened enough Emmaras. I definitely didn't craft any. What are we missing up here? We have 3 uncommons and a common wild card to work on. There's the Camaraderies, which is the payoff I love in the deck by far. Alright, well, we got through that. At least we do have an Immortal Sun hanging out, but we have a long way to go on the build. So I wonder if we go with the Explorer angle. I do love the Explorer angle. It just makes me happy to have all that life gain against red mages, who I despise. And I don't know if the Wayfinder will make it, but we'll add a few of those for now to sit with the Jadelight Ranger. There's the Walkers, here's the Branchies, and the Diviner. Yep, still hanging out. Hey, that filled up the deck. So, is there anything here I'm doing insanely wrong? I don't think so. I mean, look at that curve. It's quite the curve. We can get those Memorial to Glories in, as tokens is kind of the thing. Maybe 1 Guildgate is appropriate. We can find it with the... where do you go? District Guide. 3 Temple Gardens and a Sunpetal Grove. We have better mana fix here than normal. And we have a lot of ways to find lands. So if I look at this, we have 22 creatures, 24 land, 8 white cards, and 21 green cards. Alright. Feels about right. It's a good reason to cut back on some of the planes. It's possible we even want to cut another one. Maybe another Guildgate's the right play. 1 more Guildgate. Then there's 4 tap lands, which is okay. we've got a really high spike at 2, so it's okay to go turn 2, 2-drop, turn 2, 2-drop, turn 3, 2-drop, and gate. It's not terrible. All right, let's try this deck out. Is it just me, or is Selesnya the worst name for a guild? All the other ones are quick and punchy, a syllable or two and you're done. Selesnya, just nothing about that rolls off the tongue for me. I don't like it. Let's do a constructed. No, it's not quite an event deck. We want that matchmaker to possibly pair us a little more generously than the events tend to do. Although, haven't been getting lucky on that for a while. I think one of the struggles of free-to-play really kicks in now that the people who put in even a little bit of money are way ahead of you at this point because they've just unlocked more cards, and then they start, like, it feels like you fall behind more as time goes on. But maybe that's in my head. I don't know. I'm far from an expert. I just play my account and try to enjoy it. Forest off the top is good, so we have double green and double white. Somewhere, this is looking like sort of a Wildgrowth Walker. One great thing about Ajani is getting back Wildgrowth Walker, by the way. And we'll probably play our Saproling Migration, but probably on 3. I think getting a Wildgrowth on the field is usually the move, so that if we draw an Explorer creature, we're ready to go. White and black. Perhaps we're up against some vampire nonsense, shenanigans, whatever you would like to call it. So this is looking good with Wildgrowth Walker into District Guide, into Ajani, maybe into Saproling Migration, and Camaraderie for the woohoo. All right. Do I go get my Guildgate? I don't think I need the mana fix all that much. I think I'll get another forest instead, since I'll get another plains instead in case we end up sacrificing the Memorial to Glory later. We didn't have anything to lose on that attack, but it feels like a waste of time. Just imagine Sir Vincent tanking, trying to figure out what to do. Okay, so we can play the Ajani, or we can play the Migration and the Diviner and do some exploring. We're up against 3 open mana, which does imply what? Seal Away? Something like that. Against black and white, where there's Ritual of Soot and cards like that, I would rather resolve the Ajani, although there are other obnoxious cards. Ixalan's Binding, Vraska's Contempt.
No friend of mine.
Let's pump the team.
Of more than you assume.
And I'm going to attack. If the opponent has Seal Away, it's a risk I'm willing to take here. I don't know enough about what's going on with their deck yet, although playing around Settle the Wreckage is almost certainly going to be a given, considering how the game has gone so far. They've got to be sitting on something. Oh. And they have conceded. The Ajani was enough to scoop them. Gold! There've been gold in them hills, my friends. Yay! We get to go Emmara or Walker into Tishana if they're red, and a Venerated Loxodon. This looks like a blast. So, probably... excuse me. I'd edit that out, but this is one of those unprofessional videos. The raw, uncut ones you got to know. So, I think we play Emmara here. There is a chance we don't want to, and that chance would be all about... Well, if the opponent plays something bigger with his Druid of the Cowl, Emmara is not going to want to attack into it, of course. Maybe the Wildgrowth Walker is the right move against mono green, because the sooner you start getting bigger creatures, the sooner they can do things like block Steel Leaf Champion and go spar with Galta, the Primal Hunger. So I think Walker is the right lead after some consideration. I'm really going to want to find another land with Wayfinder. And not a tapped one either. I wonder if there's any case to playing Branchwalker instead, because you might find a tapped land. There's the Steel Leaf. Right on time. Thorn Lieutenant. I keep thinking, is there a case to play this because I might find a tapped land? Because next turn I definitely want to play 2 creatures. It's tough. Because I can go 2 into 2/2, and then have Loxodon ready to go, or I could be mana efficient and play the Wayfinder. I'm going to go with the Branchwalker play. I see it happening too often that we find one of our tap lands when we don't need it. And we'll bin that because it's not a land at all. And that's a bit unfortunate. So not quite paid off for the little gamble, but we'll see what we draw next turn. Still a little ways off of getting this Loxodon cooking. There's Gigantosaurus. Dear God. No blocks. Alright, we'll need blockers for this. Another land. And too much white. So we're in a little bit of a bind here. But we can play out the Emmara like this. And play the Loxodon like this. And start building up our creatures and such. Loxodon can go square off with Champion. The token can jump in front of Gigantosaurus one time. We only need one more Explore trigger to make Wildgrowth Walker bigger than the Steel Leaf Champion, so perhaps I don't want to trade my Loxodon for the Steel Leaf Champion. It's close to getting brickwalled. Oh, there's your card. That's what you want in life. All right. There's no reason not to attack with the giant, right? And I can't take that amount of damage, or the Galta will definitely catch up to me. But I can take the Steel Leaf Champion damage. The next turn we explore. The opponent plays Galta. I decide whether or not to chump block Gigantosaurus. I guess I can attack with Emmara here to make another token. The opponent could block with Jadelight Ranger. But I get another token out of the deal. So yeah. Let's put out the Wayfinder, Explore, trigger Wildgrowth Walker. History of Benalia. I don't think you're what I'm looking for here. Memorial to Glory to the battlefield. You can attack. So who's blocking? You can block, it's fine. The 1/1 can block, it's fine. The Venerated Loxodon isn't. So yeah, let's do some attacking. Make the opponent figure this out. So here's my blocks. 1/1 token, there's my blocks. And if this stays home, this is my block. Okay. I think that blocking the Emmara is the most likely outcome. And there you go. We might use Ajani to get it back if we're so concerned about that as a token engine, but with Galta on the field, it's going to be all about as much power and toughness as possible, so Ajani's likely to come down and use +1/+1 counters if it does anything. Oh, okay, double Gigantosaurus. We're gonna need something with like 10 power. If we want to spar in this game. Block again. Super green over here. The greenest of green. Alright. So I think the right play is to play the Wayfinder and keep exploring our way up, keep padding our life total. We don't have double green. So, God, the planes are really getting us here. Oh man, that's too bad. That feels horrible. So a little, facing the draw from the green deck, plus getting a little bit of mana screwed. You can't be surprised we're behind here. Who wants some? Come get some. Yeah, probably both. How about Galta? Does Galta want to dance? No. Interesting. So I'm going to block with Branchwalker because Ajani can get it back and explore. Do I want to gang up on one of these? I may as well now, right? We're sort of committed. So let's take one down. Let's at least do something here. Should have blocked with the Wayfinder instead of the Elephant. I'm not sure what made me do that one. That was just a little brain fart. Easy to do when you're just getting rocked like this over and over. Okay, more Explorer. Let's see if the opponent cares to attack Ajani. We can also get a double Explorer with a block from Branchwalker, and then Ajani gets it back if desperate. But I don't think we're out of this. Here we go again. 6. Okay. I don't like that attack. I can easily block here. The opponent thinks I want to gangbang Galta, but I'm not interested in that right now. I'm going to chump with the Branchwalker, eat the Steel Leaf Champion. I'm going to take 12. But then we're going to probably double Explore next turn with Branchwalker and Ajani getting back Branchwalker, which puts us up to an 8-12, so it can absorb the Galta hit and with one other blocker take it down. And then we have a chump blocker for Gigantosaurus. At 2 life, it's possible all these creatures get through, though. If I find any land from either Explorer, I can make creatures with Memorial to Glory, though, which is wonderful. Alright, like this. So let's explore first. And of course we have a life gain, which I should also remind myself happens. There is a Conclave Tribunal. We need that. So do I need a double Explorer? I can chump block this Gigantosaurus with my Explorer. If I make this an 8 and this a 4, we can double block Galta and kill it. Alright, we're doing it.
I will lend you my strength.
And my opponent's at 12. They would have to chump block, but then I'd die, so it's not an option, but it's worth considering. We're getting close. We might just be able to charge them. And the top deck is a Rabid Bite. That's the top deck. Yep. Good old Rabid Bite. Nah, I don't need to watch you figure out how to attack with your creatures. Thank you. Wrecked. Possible the misplay cost me somewhere, having a Loxodon instead of the Explorer creature, but I don't know if we were going to win that. Stack it up, play it any different. Is there a way we get out of that? I don't know. That's odd. When have I ever had trouble finding an opponent in free play? I'm guessing I'm in one of those games that's about to be a draw. Yep. Just a connection issue, is what I'm guessing. I don't know. Oh, we can make conversation since the glory of editing won't be here for you. There's the Undercity Tournament, our own mod on my Twitch channel and participant in Discord. Holy, WOTF, and organizer and operator of the MTG Arena Wikia, is putting that on. I entered. My deck is blue-red shenanigans. Jeskai shenanigans, I should say. It's kind of a hybrid between Drakes and Jeskai control. I look forward to playing. It goes really hard on Niv Mizzet and the transformational sideboard-ish that can be a Niv deck or something different. So that will be fun. You'll probably see updates and videos to do with that tournament. So make sure you check it out. I think it has 300 some players, which is huge. I remember competing in tournaments where that many people were in one room, and it was not great. The smell was special, you could say. This hand is fine. There's not too much to say. Hopefully we get a camaraderie moment, but it looks like our opponent might be playing control, which would be very against having happiness of any kind of fun. Let's lead on Wildgrowth Walker in case we draw Explore creatures. Hopefully next turn. Alright, they are tapping mana. We get to play... They're stuck on 1 mana. We get to get out our Saprolings. Again, we're missing double green. This is frustrating. to put it mildly, 2 games in a row? We can't do double green? Asking too much? Alright. Sure. So we could Loxy. I'd rather get out Emmara first. Our opponent's on double Fountain. No attacks. We'll Loxy now. Somehow forgot how that worked. You can tell I'm a little off my game. I tried to have a rejuvenating weekend. It didn't go as planned. I ended up having a lot of stressful stuff to deal with. And it's a very busy time of year for the business, so my Magic game is slacking, but it can still beat somebody with 1 land. So I've got that going for me in life, if nothing else. And my backdrop game's on point. If you missed the limited video, I've got a new friend hanging out with me. What's up? Just constantly think he's going to be tearing off my head. So that's fun. Yeah, I don't know. But this looks this looks interesting. I don't know if this is a good hand or a bad hand. It's one of those things where, is Path of Discovery good in this matchup? Will I be dead before I cast the Immortal Sun? I don't know. Stone Quarry. And will I flood out to oblivion? Could also be a thing. Ionin Vanguard. Boros. You got it. Let's Divine. We really don't want to hit a land here. We actually actively want a 1/4. But do we want the Saproling Migration? I think we do. Because we play Guide, we play Discovery, then we play Migration, then we play Immortal Sun. That seems pretty great. So I'll hang on to the 2 dudes for 2 mana, or the 4 dudes for 6. Golgart Brute. It's got Menace. Gotta block it with 2 creatures, not 1. It's a big deal. Let's go ahead and use District Guide to get a basic Plains. District Guide doing some work. Then District Guide can trade for the Brute if they both attack. Yep, we're going wide. This feels like another free-to-play collection for sure. This feels like a proper battle. So do we kill the Vanguard or the Brute? I think we take out the Brute. That Menace thing can be complicated. For 1 white, do you have some trickery to save your Brute? Nope. And let's resolve Path of Discovery and get ready to cook on the Explorer angle, while trusting the Diviner to hold back the beatings from the Boros Weenies. Come and get it. Nope. Denied. Alright. 2 migrations. all that discovery and a Guildgate. This is going to be pretty sweet. And then next turn, the Immortal Sun. So let's create 2 dorks and explore. Looking for, of course, land is fun. It goes right to the hand, but impact, yes. You I will keep. Oh my goodness. What a mess we're making. Library. Guildgate on top. Your move. My tokens are going to be cooler than your tokens. That's the plan. So +2/+0 and first strike to a target creature. If they give it to a large enough creature, the Diviner can't block it, so I would go with the Brute or the Vanguard. And they go with the Vanguard. Alright. Well, we can do this blocking on the Brute to kill it. We can also chump the Vanguard to save some life, but our creatures are going to get bigger from the Immortal Sun, so I'll just take the bump from the Vanguard. I don't know that the opponent can burn me out from 14 with this type of deck. If they do, it will make for glorious footage. To the Immortal Sun. And is it time to start attacking my opponent? To an extent. I think like this it would be about right. We want a little bit of pressure, but we don't want to risk a heroic reinforcement, Pride of the Conquerors, silliness. We want to make them pay for attacking. And no attacks. Alright, and no mana for Settle the Wreckage. So let's hit them up Tendershoot style. Make some 5/5s. Lightning Strike, down goes the Dryad. That's fair. Do I want you? I suppose. Although it's not high impact or anything of that nature. Maybe I'm supposed to be digging for Camaraderie now or something of higher impact to close the game. We'll pay 2 life. We'll put out another Wayfinder. Oh, I didn't have to pay a 2 life because of the Immortal Sun. I'm an idiot sometimes. I told you my game's not quite there. Just having a going through the motions day to recover from what turned out to be a more stressful than expected weekend. I was coaching some mix-up teams at basically some open scrimmages for the local roller derby leagues. Things don't always go according to plan. So we're a bit on autopilot. Judge me kindly. Or do whatever you want. People judge however they want to, so telling people how to judge you is not how it works. Just hoping to get here, log on to the Magic, make some cool plays. That's all I was going for. So far, so good. Wayfinder. Path. Doubles. Ooh. No, I don't actually have a good target for you right now. There might be one on the way, but I don't see it. You I'll keep. That will be excellent. You come out tapped, and you come out tapping. I guess I'll leave the 5/5 available. Oh, it costs 1 less, and I can't use, and I can only use the green. Okay, so that was interesting because the Venerated Loxodon costing 1 less and requiring a white creature to pay the white convoke cost meant I could only use 3 of my green creatures. I'm just used to tap 5 creatures. Learning all kinds of stuff today. I'll call it Brain Dead Sunday recording. Alright, halfway to our 750. Pretty happy with the Selesnya deck though. Perfectly competitive in that ridiculous green matchup. And smashing everything else so far. So turn 1 Temple Garden tapped, turn 2 Migration, turn 3 Wayfinder, turn 4 Shalai. It's a reasonable curve. It's just a lot of beef on the field, but that's what you're going for. if we get Goblin Chain World for it, I'll probably have a meltdown. But we'll see. Red-blue. The chart of the course. I wonder how much they'll expect the Settle the Wreckage. Nobody expects the Settle the Wreckage. What we want to do is get to 6 mana, so it looks like we're leaving up a Shalai activation. Dorks. Land off the top helps get us in that direction. Chart of course. Can we find some Arclight Phoenix-y stuff? Not yet. And maybe they don't have those. I've seen plenty of the Drake decks that didn't spend on the Mythic, because the Drake deck is relatively inexpensive, with Crackling Drake and Enigma Drake being uncommon. Alright, to Loxy or to Wayfind. I think we'll Loxy. It's more power and toughness. Wayfinder's better if we have a Wildgrowth Walker, of course. Shalai is well sized to get in front of Arclight Phoenix, but not Drakes. Drakes are usually pretty happy to see a Shalai. They just attack right into it over and over. So, a Lava Coil? Yep. They have, the Drake decks have definitely adopted Lava Coil as removal of choice. Kills a vast number of things in the format that give them trouble. Rekindling Phoenix being pretty high on the list. And Shalai is, Shalai makes that list too. Send in the tokens. What you got? Bang, bang. All right. Out comes the voice of plenty. An Essence Scatter or something like that would be a surprise from the Drake style decks, because they play so much on their own turn, they can't usually run many, or any, for the most part, counter spells. Just doesn't happen. So I don't play around counter spells against them. Yep, there's that Lava Coil. Tormenting Voice will discard a Phoenix. Can they play Mountain Shock? That would be the high end play here. That would be the I am king of the world. I don't think there's that much to think about. I'd blow up a token. It's a token. This deck likes creatures on the battlefield. It takes advantage of creatures on the battlefield. They could go face and think that they're racing me. King of the world indeed. And Arclight Phoenix is here. Big red bird. History of Benalia off the top is a decent draw. Let's lead off with the Merfolk Branchwalker. We might hit a land that we want to play. Yep. And then we'll hit the History of Benalia button. See if we can go wide around this bird before anything terrible happens to us. But I would expect a Crackling Drake any second now. And that puts a pretty big stop sign on our little 2-power creatures. What we really want the opponent to do is go for a lethal attack next turn, so... Man, I'm one turn off, though, of being able to play the Wayfinder. Alright, well, this gave us something to play. Settle is so much convincing. It's so much more convincing when you actually have a card to play. I'm going to graveyard this. Looks nice and desperate. And pass the turn. And we'll hope that our opponent decides to come at us. We'll hope they... Oh, Conjecture, huh? Interesting. Return an instant. What will they get? Shock, sure. So that probably means we won't see the attack this turn, but let's see. Who wants some? Oh my. Well, sometimes you get lucky. The opponent did consider that if I had nothing, they could hit me this turn and then hit me next turn. What I don't like about the attack is I would just send the Phoenix or just the Drake, because the attack next turn is probably lethal either way. We still have a Mirari Conjecture to bash our way through, so we have to make sure that we finish our opponent next turn. I think we have the tools to do it. Unless they run like Fiery Cannonade, something ridiculous like that. This is going to be a lot of creatures to kill. The opponent does get a sorcery. I imagine they'll take a Lava Coil, but you never know. They have 3 life, they have 8 mana. Ooh, if they do have a Cannonade, they are in good shape. They are happy. Clap along if you feel like Cannonade is the truth. It's been a long time since I saw a Drake deck with a Cannonade, like the Miser's Fiery Cannonade in the main deck. Owen Turnwald was a professional Magic player who wrote an article using that. But it was several months ago. I think it was just before the Pro Tour even. So most people have turned to other lists. Yuya Watanabe did not have the main deck Cannonade. The opponent's showing off their ability to cast a lot of spells, but all will be for naught. Okay, 23 out of 40. Still going. How much gold are these things again? 5,000. Alright, alright. Probably can't get all of it today then, but let's get it. Let's do what we can. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll have one quest so that I can get ready to draft. And you know what it will be? Boros. It'll be Boros. It will have to be. Oh boy. Red mages. The Settle is here again, by the way. Yeehaw. Drakes again? Interesting. So, does that mean we play Walker or Emmara? Probably Walker, because it uses up mana on our opponent's turn, whereas Emmara can be shocked. Let's see. If I do this, does the opponent have a shock? They have something. They have an instant. That's how you can tell. You go through a phase and just see what they might be sitting on, what they're up to. Okay then. Not Drakes, or at least it's something different. I haven't been Essence Scattered in a minute. So, they play Essence Scatter. Do they play Negate? Do they play Syncopate? I think I'll just play... I think the right thing would be to play around Syncopate a little bit. So I'll play other white and play Emmara and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And then next turn we'll likely go for Benalia. Sitting on 2 lands and a million counters. So they have to have specifically Negate here, or Spell Pierce would do it. Alright, give me a token. Well, what do you know? I think they're going to shoot it. Fun. Blue-red, kill, counter, all the things. And draw none of the lands. Doesn't play around Spell Pierce, but whatever. Let's launch the Wayfinder. Hey, are we out of counters? Appears we might be. More land on a body. Seems like a good card for the moment. I mean, what more could you really ask for? Something more powerful, I suppose, but doesn't seem too bad to me. Maybe my standards just got really low. Maybe that's what's going on here. I'd been to Settle the Wreckage, though, if I could. Ooh, tap land. Ugh. See if the district guide resolves here. Yep. Let's go get another forest. Play it out. So let's attack with our knight. Hit. And let's play the Loxodon. And pump the squad. This way I've got a few things that survive a Clarion if my opponent's actually Jeskai control missing white. And the rest of the game will probably look like holding up March of the Multitudes as much as possible. And to rebuild if when the opponent taps out to deal with our board in some way. So here's a big swing. And at 6, yeah, I'll play the other Wayfinder. Get that explore value. Keep holding on to March. Library, why not? Send a message. Beacon Bolt, and they have 4, so it's good. They're at 6. We'll just do this for the funds. I'm supposed to cast my spells, and I think they're going to concede any second. I think it had to be creature spells, though. I should pay attention to my quests. Drop a Camaraderie. Yes! Feels so good. Sphinx's Revelation, you know, with creatures. It's wonderful. Alright, well, still working over here. We have a pack. Maybe we'll open something we want into the deck. Hoi! And we filled our mythic wild card. We got that. No. None of you. And I've got you already. You're all. I don't think I'd want 3. I think 3 would be really ambitious for a 6-drop. Especially with Iskanta, or I always say Iskanta, but I mean the Immortal Sun already in the deck. Well, Wildgrowth spam. Sounds great. The red deck won't know what hit them. You're not the red deck. Tap land into tap land. Keep it up. You're doing great. Don't stop. Got double Benalia. Whether to go Wildgrowth crazy or Benalia crazy. Probably Benalia crazy. And they're stuck on mana. Alright. Feels like a cast down or an Assassin's Trophy. Either will do for me. Yeah, baby. Get me another forest. Sweet. Doom Dissenter. Awkward. Not for me. It's just not a. It's just an awkward card. What can you say? I think that I'm better off though dropping Benalia here, keeping the Night Train rolling. It's a good old Guns N' Roses song, Night Train. So you could block that one, save an extra damage. Double trophy ramp city in here. I'm loving it. All this mana to do all the things I want to do. Yes. What you doing over here, zombie? Are you a fan of the cranberries? Zombie, 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 So we'll put out the walkers and get one explore trigger, hopefully find some more. It's hard to bin that though, that's a lot of creatures. Send them in. Not a fair fight right now. Not a fair fight. Midnight Reaper. Everybody go. To play around Ritual of Soot or not to? So my quest is to cast the creature spells, so I will do that, and they're at 4, so I'll sit back. So if they do Ritual of Soot, I can reload with Saproling Migration, and then do it again. But not necessary. Six more critters. Hang on to this. More Explorer shenanigans. Double green for Jadelight Ranger. And of course, the one of Settle, which is just going to show up no matter what from now on. It's decided it's just always going to be there. Don't worry about it. Like a good neighbor, Settle is there. If you know American television adverts. Life gain, you say? Let's get some land. Preferably another white. I have to graveyard you. Oh, I have to graveyard you too? Hurts my soul. But it is what it is. Double block would kill this, and I would take down the Angel. I don't think that's a good enough trade when my Walker has so much more to go, so much more room left to run. Angel beats. Adversary of the Sunrise. Our opponent likes to explore creatures too. This one has first strike. Matches up well against the Jadelight Ranger. And who's getting indestructible? Who's your Widow indestructible? Who's the indestructible one? The Angel, of course. Alright. Let's go ahead and drop a Branchy. Yeah, I don't think that's what I want right now. I need my haymakers and payoffs. And I don't think now's the time to Tribunal the Angel. It's still a mana away from activation. Another land is great. 5/7. So if I attack, the opponent could block with everything to kill it. But that would be everything. What would I take down with me? Everything. Yeah, I think that's a worthy trade. A 3-for-1 for a 2-mana creature. And yes, the opponent is not that desperate. Not that desperate. Paladin of Atonement. Whenever they lose life, put a +1/+1 counter at the end of the turn where the life was lost, and when it dies, life equal to toughness. Interesting. Opponent misses the land drop, so we don't have to worry about the angel just yet. So I think it's a good turn for another Explorer trigger. And now we really want Camaraderie. I'd take that Immortal Sun back if I could. We could Tribunal now. It wouldn't cost me much. The opponent will likely block the Wildgrowth Walker with the Atonement to gain life to pump the team. I wonder if there's anything to be said for stealing the Paladin of Atonement. Probably not, though. I think I'm perfectly fine waiting. Our deck is pretty favored when we have a bunch of things on the field, as long as we draw some of our good cards. I would love the U back, though. I don't know when or how our opponent might all-out settle into this board. They probably would not. Mentor of the Meek. Now that's a card worth taking out with Tribunal, I think, so that our opponent doesn't draw a million cards. Who's definitely not attacking or blocking? I'll just have to disregard. I don't think this matters. And yeah, let's keep the Wildgrowth coming now. If the opponent wants to block with Atonement, that's okay. No, they'll take it so that they can grow the Atonement. That's okay too. War Leader. Alright, well, the opponent will want to attack. I wonder if I'm supposed to do a stupid, terrible, all-out attack. Look desperate and ridiculous, like I hit the wrong button. I'm not opposed. Let's do it. Let's throw everything at this opponent at 14 life. And see what they do. And see what kind of a bounce-back attack they want to throw. I'm sure it will involve the War Leader. I'm sure they'll try to keep their Pride Mates alive. They go to 7, they're going to gain 2, they'll go to 9. Alright, let's see how the opponent handles this. Interesting. Alright, well in that case, we'll do a block here and I won't settle. And we'll turn this into a fight. We'll turn this into a slog. And I'll wait for Camaraderie or whatever. Opponent's been settled before, you can tell. Alright, let's grow these creatures. And keep the Wildgrowth Walker back. This might also entice some kind of an attack. It is fun to have Settle the Wreckage available on the turn when you Loxodon. It's a pretty neat combo that I definitely never thought of before. And yeah, it means you tap your blockers, which is usually a big risk, but if they attack into it, you have Settle, and then a huge counter attack. Now the opponent has a big choice. Do they want to throw away their War Leader for the life gain triggers? Does their Angel want to keep attacking? What do they do? Yeah. Weird. I guess they just want that life gain trigger. Alright, I'm gonna set up blocks like I don't care. Or like this is what I expected to happen. And we'll see if the opponent has any pump effects or something like that. If not, I'll save the settle. These Pride Mates still need to go, and as long as we're sitting here and our opponent's afraid to attack us. Now, eventually they can force the issue when they get one more land, and then they start pumping the Angel. Then I do have to settle the Wreckage. Oh, isn't that fun, clicking through all that. Guess I can hit the pass turn. I wonder if our opponent has Settle the Wreckage in their hand. It might be a reason they keep thinking about it. When you always have the card in your hand on your radar, typically from the opponent. Keep exploring. Come on, Camaraderie. Where are you? You're hiding in the deck somewhere. Psych. So, what do we do this time? They threw away their War Leader for life gain triggers. Are they going to use them? No, nobody's attacking. Alright, let the flood continue. We were struggling early. We got through, we had binned some cards that I would really love to have back, and now we found a huge pocket of land. Our opponent has 5. We got 10. Make it 11 in hand. We did have a district guide though. Uh-huh. Counting up. Pass and turn. How long? How long will it continue? Does feel like the opponent's holding up Settle the Wreckage themselves, fearing whatever nonsense will come. Now there's the Vanguard Pridemate combo. Quest is complete, one way or another. This is getting holy wow. Is what this is. That's a lot of land in the middle of the deck here. Holy cow. We're still waiting for our opponent to get their 6 mana and like tap out, trying to pump this, do something like that. Who are you protecting? It's kind of silly. Okay. Besides, every time we can get an Explore trigger, it's like a fog for the Angel. Until it's pumped. Nope, not what we need. Come on, Camaraderie. We went through half the deck. Come on, baby. Come on. Where are you at? I guess I could pay some bills. Flipside Gaming sells Magic cards. If you go there and use the promo code CGB at checkout, it supports the channel and gives you a discount. Magic cards delivered to your door, should you want to enter the Paper Magic Arena instead of this Magic Arena. Yep, the opponent's holding up Settle for the rest of the game. That's the plan. You see how they didn't even think about activating this Angel? There we go. Come on now. All right, they think they're in charge now. We're down to 1 card, so they convince themselves it's not there, but it is. It is there. Also, hauntedflower.com, proud sponsor of the stream, and a company that I own, that I started in a spare bedroom 11 years ago, and now we sell Magic the Gathering apparel, and we're shipping worldwide. So if you'd like to check that out, that's hauntedflower.com. I'm going to keep playing out the land because it makes it even more convincing when I decide to hold one, which, by the way, it's 15 land now. What we really need is the Shalai. There's one of them, but if we find Shalai, turns off Settle, we can tack in, that's really good. Well, turns out we don't have that much time because this Resplendent Angel is back. So can I get a draw off the top of my deck that isn't Putrid? Please. Maybe I'll go back, watch the video, and count like how many cards off the top were lands. Now the angels start coming, so this is probably the last call for Camaraderie to get in this game, or Shalai. Down to 5. Last call. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead. This game was an absolute train wreck, but a wild roller coaster ride nonetheless. But hey, quest is done. I hope you enjoyed this grinding video on the Young CGB account, maybe a little bit of Young CGB nostalgia. I'll see you, as always, in the next video.